Hello and welcome to Forehand Frenzy. Today's video is about two of the most well-known tennis players in the world, Andy Murray and Rafael Nadal. Murray and Nadal are both legends in the sport, and their achievements on court have earned them a place in tennis history. However, both players have been dealing with injuries in recent years, which have raised concerns about their ability to continue competing at the highest levels. Murray, a former world number 1 and 3-time Grand Slam champion, has been struggling with injuries for several years now. Despite this, he has remained a consistent performer on the ATP Tour, and he has continued to challenge some of the best players in the world. Recently, Murray revealed his ambition to compete for future Wimbledon titles, which has sparked a lot of interest and discussion among tennis fans and experts alike. Nadal, on the other hand, is one of the greatest tennis players of all time. He has won 22 Grand Slam titles, which alongside Novak Djokovic amounts to the highest tally in men's tennis history. However, Nadal has also been dealing with injuries for a long time, which have affected his performance on the court. Recently, he withdrew from the Miami Open due to a back injury, and it was later revealed that he was also experiencing hip problems. There are also doubts about his participation in the French Open, and if he were to miss the tournaments first at the Rome Masters, then in Paris, Nadal would drop out of the world's top 100. Nadal would be getting close to a position where he would need a wild card to gain entry to Grand Slam events, and while that would also be assured for a player of his status, his days as a seed in major events would be over for now. Nadal has yet to make an appearance in a regular ATP Tour event in 2023, with the injury he suffered in his second-round defeat against Mackenzie McDonald at the Australian Open in January, keeping him off court ever since. While he has been practicing in recent weeks, Nadal confirmed he was not ready to play in Madrid, and all eyes will now be on whether he will play in Rome. He will lose 90 points from his current ATP haul of 2,535 if he fails to make an appearance in the Italian capital. Yet it will be in Paris where his biggest fall could come, as he will be defending 2,000 points after his victory in last year's French Open tournament. Given the injury concerns surrounding Murray and Nadal, it's important to examine their recent performances, their injury history, and the prospects realistically for these older players at upcoming Grand Slam tournaments. In this video, we will delve deeper into these issues and explore whether Murray and Nadal can still compete at the highest level of tennis. Andy Murray's recent performance. Andy Murray's recent performance on the ATP Tour has been mixed. Since his return to professional tennis after undergoing hip surgery in 2019, Murray has played in several tournaments, including the Australian Open, Rotterdam Open, and Miami Open. In some of these tournaments, he has performed exceptionally well, while in others, he has struggled to find his form. At the Australian Open earlier this year, Murray showed glimpses of his old self and managed to reach the third round of the tournament. He defeated Matteo Berrettini in 5 sets in the first round and then went on to beat the Australian player Thanasi Kokkinakis in a 5-set thriller in the second round. Despite losing in the third round to the Spanish player Roberto Bautista Agut, Murray's performance was encouraging, and he showed that he was still capable of competing with some of the best players in the world. Murray suffered his third first-round defeat in a row last Thursday, bowing out of Madrid in a 6-2, 7-6 defeat to Italian qualifier Andrea Vavasori. After going 2-4 down in the second set, he was able to get back on serve and into a tiebreak, but an embarrassing mishit by Murray effectively gifted his opponent the match, raising doubts about the world number 56 player's prospects for recapturing the excellence of his earlier career. Back in February 2021, Murray was beaten by Ilya Marchenko in an ATP Challenger final in northern Italy. He struggled to find his rhythm throughout the match and made several unforced errors, which cost him dearly. Murray also faced a straight sets defeat at the hands of Felix Auger-Aliassime at the round 16 stage of the Rotterdam Open in February 2022, again smashing his racket in frustration. These defeats have been a major setback for Murray, but the full picture of his recent performances is more nuanced. He has also delivered a number of impressive and unlikely victories, turning in several excellent displays of remarkable tennis brilliance. For instance, he produced a scarcely believable display to fight back from 2 sets down to beat Thanasi Kokkinakis in an epic Australian Open match in January 2023, which finished at 4 a.m. local time. It was Murray's longest match ever and lasted almost 6 hours in total. Some of the points he won during that match were extraordinarily amazing, showcasing the Scot's peerless athleticism and steely determination to win. While Murray has shown that he is capable of competing with some of the best players in the world, he has also had some disappointing results, which have raised questions about his ability to win another Grand Slam title. However, with his recent statement about eyeing future Wimbledon trophies, it's clear that Murray is not ready to hang up his racket just yet, but is more than willing to put in the hard work to achieve his goals. Andy Murray's hip surgery. Andy Murray's hip problems have been well documented, and they have been a major setback for the former world number one. Murray first experienced hip pain during the French Open in 2017, and the problem persisted throughout the remainder of the season. He was forced to withdraw from several tournaments and ultimately missed the last 6 months of the 2017 season. Murray tried to make a comeback in 2018 but was forced to withdraw from the Australian Open due hip problems. He then underwent hip surgery later that month, hoping to regain his fitness and form in time for the grass court season. However, his recovery was slow and complicated, and he was forced to miss the entire clay court season and the grass court season, including Wimbledon. Murray made his return to professional tennis in June 2018, but he continued to struggle. He was forced to withdraw from several tournaments and played only a handful of matches before undergoing a second hip surgery in January 2019, which many thought could be the kiss of death for his career. Following the surgery, Murray underwent a lengthy rehabilitation process, working hard to regain his fitness and form. He made his comeback to professional tennis in June 2019, playing in doubles tournaments before returning to singles competition in August of that year. Since his return, Murray has continued to struggle with the hip injury, and he has had to manage his workload carefully to avoid aggravating the problem. He has played in several tournaments, but he has also had to withdraw from some events. Despite the challenges he has faced, and despite many thinking it unimaginable that he could return to the top levels of the sport, Murray has remained determined to defy the naysayers and continue playing tennis at the highest level. His recent statement about eyeing future Wimbledon titles is a testament to his dedication and commitment to the sport. While his injury history and recent performance suggest that it won't be easy, it's clear that Murray is working smart and training like a champion, staying hungry to recapture his best form. Rafael Nadal's recent performance. Rafael Nadal, one of the greatest tennis players of all time, has been struggling with his own hip injury recently. The injury has forced him to withdraw from several tournaments. Despite this setback, Nadal's recent performance on the ATP Tour has been impressive. 2022 was Nadal's best start to an ATP Tour season when he won his first 20 matches and 3 titles, including the Australian Open, in a row. It was also his career first season winning the first 2 majors of the year, hence completing the Australian-French title double. However, as the season progressed, injuries began to affect his results. Take Wimbledon. In 2022, Nadal returned to Wimbledon for the first time in 3 years. However, he tore an abdominal muscle during the tournament, which was aggravated after his quarterfinal match against Taylor Fritz. Despite winning the encounter, Nadal withdrew from the tournament the following day, which shocked fans and tournament organizers alike. Nadal returned to the Cincinnati Masters in his first match since facing an abdominal muscle tear at Wimbledon, however lost to the eventual champion Borna Coric in the opening round. Later he returned to the US Open after not playing for 3 years, and had his first hard court match since Cincinnati. He beat Rinky Hijikata in the first round, Fabio Fognini in the second round, and Richard Gasquet in the third round. But in the fourth round, Nadal lost to Francis Tiafoe, ending his bid of a third major in 2022. Nadal returned to the Paris Masters after not playing for 2 years, however lost to Tommy Paul in the opening round. He lost his opening matches at the ATP Finals to Taylor Fritz and Felix Auger-Aliassime in straight sets. He went on beat Casper Ruud, but he failed to advance to the semifinals, so the second half of Nadal's 2022 season was much less successful than its beginning. Rafael Nadal's injury history. So like Murray, Rafael Nadal's career has been plagued by injuries in recent years. He has been forced to withdraw from several tournaments due to various injuries, including his knees, wrist, and abdomen. and his performances have suffered accordingly. Like Murray, it's Nadal's ongoing hip injury that has caused the most concern for the Spanish superstar. Nadal first experienced hip pain in 2018 during the Australian Open, which forced him to withdraw from the tournament. He then missed several tournaments and underwent stem cell treatment for his hip in May of that year. The treatment seemed to work, and he was able to return to professional tennis later that year. He then missed the remainder of the 2020 season due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Nadal's injury troubles continued in 2021, and he was forced to withdraw from several tournaments, including the Miami Open and the Rotterdam Open. The injury has forced him to manage his schedule carefully, limiting his participation in tournaments and raising questions about his ability to compete in upcoming Grand Slam events. The prospects for Andy Murray and Rafael Nadal. Given their injury histories, it's difficult to predict the prospects for Andy Murray and Rafael Nadal in upcoming Grand Slam tournaments. Murray's recent performances have shown that he still has the potential to compete at the highest level, and his ambition to compete for future Wimbledon titles is certainly admirable. However, the question remains whether his body will allow him to do so. His hip surgery was a major setback in his career, and it's unclear whether he will be able to recapture the earlier excellence of past Grand Slam glories. The toll professional tennis exerts on players' joints is enormous, and often can lead to hip, knee, or elbow replacements later in life, with these needing to be replaced after 5 to 15 years, thereby guaranteeing a lifetime of scans, surgeries, recovery time, and in some cases daily medication. Murray's performances at the Australian Open and in Cincinnati against top players such as Stan Wawrinka have been encouraging, but it's too early to tell whether he will be able to translate this into sustained high-level play over the long term. As for Nadal, his injury history raises concerns about his ability to compete in upcoming Grand Slam tournaments as well, and raises the grim prospect that he may drop out of the ATP Top 100 altogether if misses the French Open. Many are speculating that he may turn up to Roland Garros and play even if injured simply to defend the points. The nature of Nadal's hip injury is unclear, with Rafa's recent press statement offering little clarity about its extent, severity, or about any rehabilitation timetable. As such, it's uncertain whether or not he will undergo surgery to address the issue. Even if he does, the recovery process could take some time, which may impact his ability to participate in upcoming tournaments. Nadal remains a dominant force on clay. However, his injury troubles have limited his tournament participation, and it's unclear how much longer he will be able to play professional tennis at the highest level. Ultimately, the prospects for both Murray and Nadal are shrouded in mystery, and it's difficult to predict how they will perform in upcoming Grand Slam tournaments. However, one thing is for sure: they have both left a lasting impact on the sport of tennis and will continue to be remembered as two of the greatest players of all time. While each has shown signs of improvement lately, their age and injuries are significant factors that underpin concerns about their future prospects and could hamper their results going forward. However, as we have seen so many times in the past, anyone who underestimates such champions as Murray and Nadal does so at their peril. They have a proven track record of coming back stronger than ever after injuries and setbacks, and it would be unwise to underestimate their ability to redouble their efforts and send the competition packing once again. One thing is for sure: we'll be sitting courtside as every nail-biting moment of drama unfolds. Thanks for watching today's special episode of Forehand Frenzy. In the unlikely event that you haven't already subscribed to our exceptional and amazing YouTube channel, please do so. Now here are 2 more splendid videos for you to enjoy. Until next time, keep hitting those forehands, keep playing whenever you get a chance, and most importantly, keep on loving tennis. We'll see you on the court.